Dina, thank you so much for coming.
Hi, Shauna. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm really
I'm good.
excited.
Round two, baby. Let's
Round
do it.
two. Yeah.
So Dina and Rachel were on round one. For those of you that missed it, it was in January and it was off the chain. We chatted about, how to start your business, how we're living abroad, how we're basically manifesting the life of our dreams. And I'm so excited to have Dina because she is, I like to call you the digital nomad queen, if that's all right. So she actually does the actual thing of going to different countries for if it's like a month, a couple months, and works from there. But she's also a digital nomad coach. And she actually started as working as a coach in London, helping creatives and entrepreneurs be the best business person that they could be. But
Yeah.
she decided, okay, life is to be lived. Like, we only have a short amount of time. And so she left London to see the world. And now you're here, sharing all of your experience. And we're so excited to have you. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I started off in London, which was really like very corporate, and I met a lot of people. Well, actually, I lived in an artist warehouse, so I had the corporate London and I had a creative London. And then when I left my corporate job, I slowly started coaching people in the corporate world, but then also started coaching creative people, met a couple of digital nomads, and I was like, right, this is the life for me. So
Amazing.
then I packed up all my stuff and then I took a 3 month trip to Morocco
Okay.
and started coaching from there, and finding Wi-Fi was so difficult, but yeah, it was great.
And when was that? That was probably, how many years ago was that?
2017?
2017, when you started your actual digital nomad adventure.
Yeah. Before that, I was traveling for 3 weeks and then going back to London. But then I spent 3 months in Morocco, a couple of months in Spain, then went to Portugal, Greece, stayed in Europe, and then I went to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. And
Wow.
yeah.
So tell us, I want to kind of start it off a little fun. What's your best living abroad moment? Because I follow you. By the way, I found Dina months ago before the first summit because I literally typed in digital nomad coach on Google and she came up on the first page. So your SEO is amazing. Congrats.
My SEO is really good. And for
Yeah,
anyone who wants to start up a business, use your website as an information center for people to find out information about the industry that you're interested in. If you can turn it into an information center, Google, because it's a Google search, anything that comes up, you rank higher because you're informative.
exactly. And you've been putting in a lot of work since you started to get the blog going, using
Yeah.
the right words so you're coming up for whatever your industry is. But I'm so happy that I found you because I feel like you're kind of the epitome, just the person that is embodying everything that's living abroad and running your own business.
Ah, thanks.
Yes,
That's
no,
really sweet.
seriously. And what's your best living abroad moment? Share with us. I kind of wanted to start it off with something fun. It can be
So
crazy, it can be whatever.
So the best moment I've ever had was when I went to Thailand for the first time. And this was before I was a digital nomad. But I was I went to Thailand for 2 months. And I was in Pai, and then I met a girl and she was like, do you want to hike in the jungle? And I was like, okay, I've never done that before. That sounds fun.
Ah,
And then we found a tour guide, hiked in the jungle, made food from bamboo. So we cooked sticky rice in a bamboo, I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. Does anybody know what that's called?
Tube? Does
A
anyone know what that's called?
bamboo pole?
Bamboo pole? Stalk.
Stock. Jen just said it. It's a stock.
Okay. Yeah. And then we hiked to a tribe and stayed with a tribe that had no electricity. We lived in a hut and we stayed there for a few days, and it was amazing.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
we hiked back.
So primitive and I've never done
So
anything like that,
primitive.
but I could see how
Yeah.
that's so eye-opening because it's the culture, right?
Yeah, no Wi-Fi, nothing, just living in the jungle. So
Oh,
it was so amazing.
would anybody want to have an experience like that? Let us know in the chat. That sounds incredible. Okay, so Dina, tell us, like, why is it, like, what are your top 3 reasons of why living abroad and moving around and doing this lifestyle is so important for us as a human? Like, what are your 3, like, reasons why?
Well, you learn so much from meeting different people. So you meet a lot from the travelers, you meet a lot from the local people, you meet a lot of different businesses and different entrepreneurs that are doing various things. Like, you don't have to be techie to be a digital nomad. You just need to have a viable business that you can do. And hopefully your business is unique, because then when you're unique, you have a niche and then you can charge more money for it. So then you work less. So that's what I help people do. I help people find a niche in what they're passionate about, and then build a business from that.
I love that. So tell us more about, like, the work you're doing. So you obviously have taken all of your experience from 2017, and obviously when you worked in London with the business coaching. And so what is the transformation that you're seeing in people? So how do they come in, and, like, then how are they leaving? What
So usually I work with a lot of different people who have different like ideas of what they want their life to be. So for example, I'm working with a couple at the moment. They both have jobs, but they want to become a digital nomad couple and travel the world together. And they currently live in Switzerland.
okay.
And they want to have a base in Switzerland, but they also want to travel and see the world. So they're both starting up businesses apart, and they're starting up a business together.
Wow.
So they're going to have multiple income streams, and they're going to have their dream life, and that's what we're working on doing. I'm also helping a lovely lady build a woman's circle, and she's currently living in Portugal, but she's thinking about moving to Costa Rica. So I'm helping her decide where to live and how to do her accounting, and how to start up her social media and build a woman's circle like no other. So she can shine in what she does, and she's a wonderful person. There's another person who has written a book, and she's lived in communes, she's got kids, she's done it all. So now I'm helping her find her voice, so then she can also become a coach as well as become a serial author.
That is so cool. And I love the wide variety of,
Yeah,
like, I think somebody said this in the beginning. We each have, like, our own authentic voice.
yeah.
And you're kind of, like, helping people discover what that is. And for those of you that are in here, like, do you have some sort of dream of a business, like this idea that keeps coming up? It seems very far-fetched. It seems very stretchy. Please drop yes in the chat. And if you feel free to share what that is, share it. This is the work that we're doing, like, is we're taking we're taking the ideas and pushing you forward. And I think that's so awesome that you're doing this, Dina. Um, how are you getting people to, like, start believing and start putting it into action? Because I think that's the biggest hurdle is, I had somebody private message me, and I won't say their name just for confidentiality, but they were like, oh, okay, like, how do I get myself to just believe that I can do this social media management business without having the skills and without having, what's kind of like that first step, and how do you get people to get into action?
So no man is an island. You can't do it on your own. You need to connect with people. And that's what's so good about this summit. Everyone here is here to become a digital nomad. And all of us have very different paths. So connecting with people who have the same mindset as you and are doing it too is an amazing way of figuring out how to become a digital nomad. And then you get ideas from them, and then you help them. So going to something like Nomad Escape would just open and blow your mind and help you step into a bigger paradigm. I would say, like, my game changer was getting a coach, because I was, like, working in London. I was, like, fed up. I started coaching. I had no idea how to use the the internet for my benefit. And then I had a coach, and then she taught me how to market. She taught me how to do market research. She taught me, you know, because at first I was like, I played with tarot. So I was like, should I become a spiritual coach? And then I was like, oh, but I've been running businesses since I was 19. So then I became a business coach, and now I kind of do tarot card readings as a laugh for my clients and friends. But then most of what I do is business coaching and life coaching and helping people to become digital nomads. So yeah, and the first step is always the hardest. Like, what's your niche? What type of business do you want to run?
Yeah. And the decision process, like how do you help them decide that? Is there like vision work, kind of like what Avi was talking about before? And I know Rachel, before you, she was chatting about like this vision board. Like, what do you really want to create out of your life? Like, where do you see your life in 1 year from now? Like, what are the feelings, emotions, and situations that you want to be happening? Like, what do you think about doing this type of work and like the mindset around all of that?
I definitely use vision boards. What I tend to do in my first paid session is something called the Wheel of Life. If you just type in the Wheel of Life onto Google, you will get a comprehensive exercise that you can do. So I recommend doing that. And then you look at different sections of your life. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, you write down where you are. And then you write down what you would like to happen. And then you look at different ways in each segment that you can work towards living a complete, full, and passionate life. So I tend to start with that because I think life is sometimes more important than work, even though, you know, you need work to pay the bills. So I start with lifestyle. I help people decide where they want to live, how long they want to travel for, where do they want to have bases? And then we slowly start thinking, okay, well, if you want to live in Thailand, would you like an online business or would you like an on-ground business, an offline business? And then we figure out how we can make that happen. So then you build a life where you're surrounded by a community and you're doing something that you're passionate about and something that you know about. And yeah.
I love that. And like, what would you say, Dina? You were saying it's important not to do this by yourself. I mean, it's scary because we have this goal in motion. We're not doing this with our best friends. I mean, we're not, maybe we are, like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
If my best friend wanted to go do this with me, but most of the time we're doing this alone. And so how important is it to invest in yourself to get the training? I mean, my dad passed away 2 years ago, which I mentioned on the beginning of the call.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's been the most difficult 2 years, but look, if you want to heal, if you want to grow, if you want personal development to increase, guess what? I've invested in grief counselors. I've invested in Kundalini yoga, breath work, meditation. I mean, that's where all of my time, my energy, and my financial resources are going to better myself. And I can only tell you that it's helped me so much, to the point where I'm hosting this summit to help other people so that other people can grow. But like, how important do you think it is to have that investment and that love for yourself so deep that you're going to do whatever it takes so that you achieve your goal?
So I think it's so important. If you don't invest in yourself, then what else is there? You have to see yourself as valuable. You have to see yourself as someone who is deserving of the life that you want. That is your birthright. You should be allowed to get the things that you want. And like, that's the beautiful thing, because Shauna has a web design business and a social media business. She can have the time to create a free summit where you're getting free information. So the fact that you've all turned up today to give your time to learn is the first step.
Yep.
So the next step is maybe doing a course or something, or speaking to a coach. And if you can't afford a coach, you can always go on Udemy and do a £15 course learning about social media or learning about digital marketing or web design. So it doesn't have to be expensive. You just have to invest in yourself.
Exactly. And speaking of like the free resources, like this is why we're here. We're here to impact, we're here to help. Like we've all been there, you guys. I wish so badly that there were programs like this. I mean, the Nomad Escape before, Dina, the support that you're providing, and like your website in general, just all the resources it has. We wish we would have had this stuff. I mean, when we started out on our journey, but we had to figure it out the hard way. Just go be spontaneous and figure it out as we were there. And I'm putting the free gift of Dina's. It's a clarity call. So she normally charges for her calls, but just for the summit, she's graciously giving this away. So thank you so much for helping everybody out and, helping people get clear on what they want to do. And I should definitely book the time in her calendar. She's pretty full. And yeah, let's see. I have a couple other questions for you before we open it up. While I'm asking these questions, you guys, please feel free to ask some questions.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How many people would like Shauna to do an offline event? And how many of you would love to learn? I don't know. I know I'm being daring here because you haven't consented to me asking this question.
That's
but how
fine.
many of you wanna learn with people and network with people as well as do these online events?
That would be awesome. I mean, I've already like manifested it into the universe that I would love to do some in-person events because my husband and I don't know if I told you, Dina, we're going to create like a retreat center. So we're going to buy property in the south of Spain, and we're going to host these like retreats, healing, mindset, all types of things. It can also be living abroad. But yeah, that would be so cool. And I'd love to do that with you. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So Diana said yes. Breezy, Brandy, love it. It depends on where it is. Sandra says depends on where it is. Sandra, where would be okay with you? We're hoping we don't have to do it in the US because I know a lot of people are here. We would want to make it a cool place. I mean, where would we want to do it, Dina?
I don't know. For some reason, Hawaii comes to my mind. I know that's technically America, but then it would be easy for Americans to get to.
That's
so
true.
I don't know. That's my universal connection.
It could be. And the flights to Hawaii right now, my best friend and I were planning a trip. Kauai is only 320 round trip from LA.
Wow.
Super cheap. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for the question. Let's chat about it afterwards. Realm also says she would love to do it. So, okay, while we're asking this last question, last couple questions, you guys think about a question you have, raise your Zoom hand and we will call on you. If you're shy, just put it in the chat and we'll get to it. But okay, tell us about like the whole visa situation with being a digital nomad. Let's say people don't know where they want to live, or they don't necessarily want to settle down because they haven't settled down their whole life and now they want to explore. Like how do you deal with the whole visa situation with that?
So what I do is I've set myself up as a sole trader in the UK. So I recommend setting yourself up as a sole trader before getting an LLC or a limited company.
So that's like a freelance designation. That's kind of like kind of just being a freelancer, right?
Yeah, but just being a freelancer, not having a business, but then you get paid. And then you can, because you're not going to get, unless you're amazing, you're probably not going to get paid 100K in like the first year or two, but you will get paid something. So being a sole trader is great. And then go on tourist visas. Some countries are a bit more difficult. So do some research in which countries you can travel to for free and how long the tourist visa is. And then go there for a month or up to 3 months, see if you like it. And then if you want to try and get residency, then maybe speak to an accountant or a lawyer and see how you can move to that country. Nice. But go on a tourist visa.
Are you one of the proponents of, like, I like to call it the taster trip to see if
Yeah.
you like a place. Maybe people don't want to go as crazy as you in terms of like, let's go to Oman, let's go to this country and like bouncing.
Yeah.
But for those that maybe want to check out 2, 3, 4 different countries, is that what you recommend, is doing like a taster, so that tourist visa for 3 months? As Americans, I know most of us here are from America. If you're in another country, please tell us what country you're calling from. We have the 3 months. So we can bounce around typically for 3 months. Is that, so you recommend doing
That's
that?
what I recommend, and that's how I travel. I've never, the only place I've ever had a working visa is Canada.
Canada.
But I usually, like when I was traveling in Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Greece, I was just paying my taxes to the UK and traveling on a tourist visa.
Nice. Okay. And then we have a question from Anne. And by the way, guys, if you can't get your questions answered right now, I'm doing 30 minutes extra at the end of the summit, and it's just going to be with me, but that's with the VIP upgrade. So that's to get all the replays. I'm going to have my assistant chop up all the replays after the summit and shoot them over to you, plus the 30 minutes exclusive Q&A time. And then you get the 1 month into the exclusive community, which is the Move Overseas Now Club, where I basically, you're going to have a buddy. I'm going to part you up with a buddy in the same place that you want to go to. And then there's networking, there's training calls. So I would definitely sign up for that if your questions are not being answered. But in the meantime, okay, so what I was going to ask you is, Anne has a question here. She says she has a sole proprietor in the US. Is that sufficient for other countries, and how does that work? What would you
To be honest, yes. I mean, there are different. So if you're traveling full time for a year, you can technically say I've been out of the country for a year, so I don't have to pay tax. But I recommend paying tax to the country that you're to a country, because it's good for pension and it's good for like just having you're documenting your business and you're documenting your time. And so I would say yes, it's okay to just be a sole proprietor in the US and then travel. But then if you end up staying for 2 years in one country, then like you should get like a digital nomad visa or a working visa or some kind of official visa, so then you can pay taxes to that country.
And just so you guys are aware, there's all of these digital nomad visas that are popping up. So Portugal has one, Estonia has one, Greece has one, Spain just launched one, but it's still in the works. You can't actually apply yet. And then there's a bunch of other countries. I'm sure you know of more, Dina, but with your country back in the US, as long as you maintain, and there's tricks about this. So look, we're here to show you how to get it done. It's on you guys to talk to your CPAs. We can't give tax advice. We can't tell you guys exactly what to do. So get with a CPA that's cool, that will understand the situation, that's not very narrow-minded, and talk to them about it. But what I was going to say is you can just maintain some sort of residency at home. So when I go to Spain, which we have a place in Spain, and when we don't have a lease here in LA, which I'm calling from LA right now, I use my mom's address, and that's my permanent residency for my business. So there's ways around it. If you're planning on selling your home in the US and going abroad, but you have a business, just think about what you want to do. Like you can move it over to Portugal after you get your D7 and you get the permanent residency in Portugal. You can start a business and just start invoicing from Portugal. So you will have to make those decisions, but there's also a workaround in terms of taxes. If you don't want to pay the taxes in Portugal, figure it out by having a residency in the US and figure out how you can still be paying back home. We can't give you tax advice, but there's ways around it. Anyways, do you have anything else to add to that, Dina?
Well, Diane and Jen both said you have to pay taxes forever if you live in the US, and that does sound familiar to me. Mm-hmm. So if you're an American, have an address that you can pay taxes to in the US, and then go and live in other countries.
Awesome. And then Michelle just posted too, you can set up your digital nomad visa business in Estonia. they have special setups for freelancers with big tax benefits. I'm going to put her link again here. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. I know Dubai also has really big tax benefits for businesses. So there's lots, and we can chat more about this. This is the beauty of the free gift that you're providing, Dina. So if you guys haven't the call yet while you're here with us, book it.
I do know that there are some tax-free states in America. Don't quote me on this, but so even if you are an American citizen, you can pay less tax in some states.
Yeah, like Delaware.
Delaware, yeah.
I think it's South Dakota. I started a business with a partner like 2 years ago, and we domiciled the LLC in South Dakota. And the upfront cost, guys, of doing an LLC versus a 1099, which is the word that you said, the sole trader, Dina, it's not that expensive, the cost for creating an LLC in the long run. So I would definitely consider it. Does anybody have questions? Please raise your Zoom hand as we continue the conversation. Anything about traveling, living abroad, business? I mean, we've done it all. I have 2 businesses. Dina is doing.
I've had like 3 businesses. I currently have one in the UK and one that's global.
Amazing. I love that. What's the one in the UK? Like, what are the 2 separate ones?
So it's a corporate well-being business where we go into organizations. It's kind of an agency model where we put on yoga, art classes, coaching, stress management courses and workshops, creativity workshops. So I started that when I was in London, and it kind of runs itself now, which is great.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we have a question in the chat. William is asking, or sorry, let me start with the one. Where did it go? I just saw it. This is the thing about the chat, is it keeps scrolling up. Okay. Karen asked, how do you heal issues related to negative money mindset? Example, coming from the past, from family, etc. This is a big one. And then hopefully, Dina, if you can wrap it up in the next couple minutes, and hopefully we can take one other question, but let's see what you have to say about that one.
So negative money mindset. Could you explain to me what you mean by negative money mindset? Because is that what you tell yourself, or is it what other people are telling you?
Yeah, feel free to come off mute, Karen, or just put it in the chat. Oh, she said fear of not making enough.
Fear of not making enough. Okay, so what I tend to tell my clients is, if you start up initially a service-based business, so that's a business where you trade your time for money. And I think everyone should at least start with that before moving into a business that you can scale, so you can learn about the market that you're in. You can charge like maybe on average $1,000 a month. If you get 4 clients, you're making $4,000 a month. That's right. That's a good income, especially when you live in Asia or in Africa.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So
also the education.
You can do it.
I think also the education, Dina, of like, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can live off of $1,000 to $1,200 in Spain. So imagine you could just have 2 clients. You could do whatever. It's you don't really need that much to live in these other countries. So it's beautiful. I wish we could chat more. If you guys haven't booked your call with Dina, this is her free gift. And thank you for being so gracious with your time, Dina. I feel like we could talk for another hour. I'm sure
I know.
the same. And I wish we could get to everybody's questions, but I see your hand, Sybil, but we have to move on to the next speaker. Do you want to put here, wait, actually, let's ask one other question. If you can kind of I'll get it answered here. If you can try to
I'll be as quick as I can. Yeah, really quick.
Welcome, Sybil. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh, can you come off mute, Sybil?
Come off mute?
Oh, did you want me to speak? Okay.
Yes, please. Go ahead and ask your question.
I'm almost 60 and I've traveled a lot, but I've been rusting I've been having a rusty life in Switzerland since 10 years. And I wonder if you have examples of 60 years old people starting businesses worldwide. because I'm a bit shy now.
So that's fine. I was working with one woman who was from Canada, moved to Mexico, and she does an engineering construction coaching business. So she helps construction leaders build businesses and also like scale their businesses and charge more for their time. So it depends. We would need to book in a chat with me, because then we can talk about this and I can find out what your skills, your personality, your passions are. And then
Well, I have a business. I'm coaching expats, but I'm just starting.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you already know what you're doing. So
Yes, I speak 3 languages. Yeah.
Perfect. So what we can do is we can have a chat to book in a call with me. We can have a chat and look at, what you want to coach expats on and how we can scale your business and get you, at least 4 or 5 clients in the space of 6 months.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dina. She's so amazing. And thank you for your question, Sybil. Really appreciate you coming on here. And we are on to our next expert. Dina, you're awesome. We love you. I hope to cross paths with you on some travels. We'll be connecting after this. So, and I wanted to introduce you to Andrew. Andrew is amazing. He has Remote Life, which is a community for digital nomads, people that want to learn how to work remote. And he's actually teaching people too how to become a remote worker and live anywhere. And he's also digital nomading like you.
Great. Cool. We'll stay connected. I have a Facebook community as well, so we can see how we can collaborate.
Cool. I'll add your LinkedIn, sure.
Yeah,
Awesome.
cool. Sounds good.
Andrew's calling us from Vietnam.
I hope the connection. I hope the connection is good, by the way.
Yeah, it's okay. Dina, have you been to Vietnam too?
I've been to Vietnam only for a few weeks, and it was amazing.
Awesome. Okay, so good to have you. We'll chat later. Thank you again for your time.